Hello besties, welcome back to Bookmas. Today we are doing something so fun and something that I have never done before, but I've seen lots of other people do it and I'm feeling inspired this holiday season. And today we are turning my library into mini books. There's something about anything that's miniature that's just so cute, so adorable, and something that I want. And so my plan for today's video is I'm not actually going to be turning every single book that I own or every single book that I read into a mini book because I feel like I would need more time than I have because I'm currently doing bookmas. But what I am going to do is I am going to turn every single book that I have read in 2025 into a mini book. And then I think what I want to do is put those mini books in like a shadow box or a frame or a jar or something just so I could display all of the books that I read this year. I could also get like a little mini bookshelf. I'm not decided on the final product yet, but what I do know at this point in time is that I want to turn my entire 2025 reads, I was about to say TBR, but no, I've read them already, into mini books and then display them proudly on my bookshelf. And then also, if you guys want to turn your library into mini books, feel free to use this video as a tutorial and a guide. I'm going to walk you through how I do everything because at this point, again, I'm not quite sure all of the details yet. I think that's it. So we're going to just dive right in to turning my 2025 reads into mini books. I am so excited. For the first part of this video, I thought I'd bring you guys over to my library because this is what we are turning into miniature books. And I don't really have it organized in terms of what I've read this year, but luckily I track everything on Goodreads. I would definitely be open to tracking my books in a different way next year. I think I'll always use Goodreads, but I know there's a lot of other platforms out there. Fable, Storygraph, all of those. So let me know if you guys have a favorite. But first thing that I'm going to do is open up my Goodreads and get a list of all of the books that I have read in 2025. I think I said this earlier, but at this point in the year, I am right around that 50 book mark. There is a chance that I read a couple more books before the year ends, so I might have to add a couple more mini books like at the literal end of 2025 or early 2026. So what I think the plan is now is I'm going to save images of all of the books that I have read in 2025 and copy those over into a Google Doc. And I'm going to make sure that in the Google Doc, there's actually 2 images of the same book cover because what I want to do is essentially print out these book covers and cut them out in one little strip. So you'll have one strip of paper with 2 book covers on it and fold it and kind of wrap it around so it can become a little mini book. And then since we're talking about the plan, let me grab our last essential item. After I get all of the mini books printed out, my plan is to cut up this little styrofoam board. I have this left over from last year. I made a vision board last year. I'll probably make one again this year. And yeah, I have this leftover little thick board. And I feel like this is the perfect thickness to wrap our little papers around and then cut them all down to size. I am going to get started. I feel like I'm yapping your ear off, but that is step number 1. Get all of the images of all of the books that I've read this year, print them out, and then I will update you guys when I complete that. I did just film an entire clip and all of that had no audio, which is unfortunate. But basically, I was telling you guys that I printed out version 1 from the design that I was making in Canva. Basically, I made a bunch of frames in Canva, copied them. So there were 2 spots for the same book cover. And then I also added a little rectangle in the middle for the spines because I want the spine of the books to match the cover of the books, if that makes sense. And so I printed them out and a couple things need to be fixed. First thing is when I printed out the page, half, or not half, but like a part of the book got cut off when I printed it. So I need to move the frames towards the middle of the paper. And then the second thing is while these are mini, they're not quite as mini as I want them to be. And so I'm going to make them smaller in the second version. And then the last thing that I did, obviously there is a chunk of this paper missing, and it's because I cut out one of the books and I wanted to test out the size of the spine around the foam board that I have because the foam board is really, really thin and as it turns out, I did make the spine a little bit too big. You're not going to be able to tell in the video, but just trust me that the spine like folds over onto where the front cover is, and I don't want it to look like that. And so I'm going to go back in to Canva and basically shrink all the books down and make the spine of the book a lot thinner, print it out, test it, and I will reconnect with you guys when I have everything to the proper size that I want. I think this is just going to be a lot of like trial and error until it fits what I'm envisioning in my mind and until the books fit around the little foam board that I have prepared. So I will see you guys when the hard part is over. I'm addicted to sitting in front of this Christmas tree because every time I look at the viewfinder, it makes me feel like there is actual magic inside my house. It is the next day now, and I wanted to update you guys on the mini book progress. Yesterday, I logged in, I listened to some of my audiobook. Doesn't this look like so many books? I'm like, oh my God, you're telling me I've read all of these? Like, that's crazy. But I kind of just messed around yesterday until I got the books to match the size that I was like picturing in my mind, and also so the spines matched up with this foam board. If any of you guys are interested in doing this also, I think I'm planning on turning that Canva document that I made into a Canva template that you guys could download on Etsy. So then if you want to create mini books and not go through like all the trial and error that I did, you could just use the template, because that would have been really nice for me to have. I have all of the mini books, and so now what I need to do is cut down the foam board to size. So these, let's pick a random book, shall we? Just for funsies. It's like pick a card, but pick a book. Excellent choice. I picked Kingdom of Ash. What I'm going to do next is cut down this foam board into strips that perfectly match the size of the covers of these little pieces of paper. I'll make a little strip like this big, cut it down, do another one over here, and then I just have to glue all of the little books onto the strip, cut them out, and I'm going to have a bunch of mini books, and so I'm going to have to figure out how I want to display them and present them. That'll be like the final issue, I think. But I'm so excited. This honestly was not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. I could be jinxing it right now, but so far it's been pretty easy. Making all the books, just got some cutting and gluing left. So wish me luck, besties. I just wanted to update you all and prepare you for how I'm going to be spending the rest of my Sunday afternoon. Cut down everything into strips, and honestly that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I don't think that the foam board that I got is meant to be cut, because when I cut it, it has all these like frayed edges. Like, it looks so uneven, but I'm hoping that I can hide these well inside the books. When you glue the book over it, you won't really be able to tell. I'm gonna make this stuff work. Now I'm gonna cut the little strips into little rectangles. Good morning, everyone. It is the next day now. It is actually Monday morning. And so before I get started on my work, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on where I got to on the mini books yesterday, and then also let you guys know what I'm hoping to get done today. So after my last update, I cut down all of those little strips into tiny little rectangles that perfectly match up with the books. And then once I cut each of these down to size, you guys saw that the edges and the sizing were not quite perfect. So what I did is I literally tested each square with a book cover to make sure that it fit around the little rectangle. And if it didn't, I would cut that rectangle down to size. And so I did like little adjustments for every single piece of the foam board. And now I have 50 little rectangles ready to be attached to the books. And so what I'm going to be doing today is essentially gluing all of the book covers onto the little pieces of foam board. And I don't actually think that I have a glue stick, so I'm going to try to use a hot glue gun. That is all that I have, but if that doesn't work, then I'm going to go to the store, get a glue stick, and glue these all that way. I don't know if cutting the foam board or gluing all of the covers on is going to be the most tedious process, but I think, again, I'm planning on listening to my audiobook and just locking in either during my lunch break or after work. Undecided at this point, but yeah, we're getting really, really close. I feel like now I have the final little ingredients, like I have all the pieces that I need and I just need to put everything together. So that is where we're at, and I will see you guys when I have literally 50 mini books. I'm so excited. Last night, I officially finished making all 50 mini books, and tell me why this is the most satisfying thing that I think I've ever looked at in my life. Literally yesterday, I kept just like spinning this bowl around and then randomly picking up a book and being like, oh, I read that book this year. That was so cute. That was so fun. Or that was not a good book. And I think I was driving my boyfriend a little bit crazy. The most tedious part of this process was definitely gluing the papers to the little foam board rectangles. I don't know why I thought that that part would go quicker than like the cutting and the like printing and all that kind of stuff, but I used a hot glue gun and I just feel like that wasn't great for efficiency. I don't know why I feel like it would have been quicker with a glue stick, but I'm here to report that the hot glue gun did in fact work and all of the little books turned out so, so good. Looking at this bowl, I like can't believe that every single book in here I read this year. Like it just looks like so many, especially because I don't read all of my books physically. I'm a big Kindle Unlimited user and library user. Like I would definitely say under half, maybe like 30 to 40% of the books that I read, I physically own. Like most of the time, more of the time, I'm downloading them onto my Kindle or checking them out from the library. And so this is a fun way to like actually look at all of them and see all of the books that I read this year. The only other thing that I am gonna work on, and I know that I mentioned this at one point in the video, is figuring out a better way to display the books. I scoured my entire house yesterday trying to look for a cute way to display these books using things that I already have. And I have a couple mason jars, but the mason jars were overflowing when I put the mini books inside of them. And so that didn't work. And so basically the best thing that I have at this point is this little like glass kitchen Tupperware, and also the item needs to be glass so you can like see all of the books. So that's going to be a work in progress, but I am really, really happy with how the mini books turned out. I definitely want to display it on my bookshelf somewhere where you can like see all of the books that I read. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it, but also having these is making me feel like I should do a mini book TBR jar. Like what if I turned my TBR into mini books and then like pulled them out and did it that way? I have seen other people do that before, and I think that would be really, really fun to do. So that's maybe in the works. Let me know what you guys think about that idea. Really quickly before I let you guys go, I also just wanted to mention in this video, if you're into like crafty things and reading, which I very much much am. I actually launched a snail mail business this month officially. And so if you guys are interested in receiving a letter in the mail from me with a new bookmark, a little word activity, again, a letter, a newsletter, really fun things, I am gonna link my website down below. I would love to send you a letter every single month. It's very crafty, very bookish, and perfect for readers. So yeah, if you would be interested in that, check the links in my description box down below. If you guys made it all the way to this point in the video, comment down below the book stack emoji so I know who made it all the way here. And I think that is it for this Bookmas video. I hope you guys are having a great day and a great reading month, and I will see you in 2 days for the next Bookmas video. Bye!